Hi, this is Danny Doyle, joined once again by Jacob, and we are at the final part, well, hopefully the final part of Chapter 17 of Fire Emblem, Path of Radiance 0% Growths. I must have fucked up something with my ordering. I thought I had done it correctly, but, it's fine. It's not a huge deal. Maybe you
Just messing
can't.
with your plan. Marsha's just messing with your plans because you like Jill more.
Yeah, it's possible you can't actually screw up, or you can't actually change the deployment order in this game, much like in Thracia. I think it's nothing that, like, a Mordecai Smite and possibly a Mariam Shove can't fix. But yeah, this is the big, like, grand finale of the giant four-part Chapter 17. Wow, I can't speak this morning. This is the final portion of the Chapter 17 trek. Oliver has second sealed back into a bishop, and we have to kill him. Or we could just sit around for someone more competent. So first things first, we are currently, like, half of our army is in range of a meteor mage. And that's no good.
Oh, well, easy. Just send your Boots Marsha down there with a Forged Steel Lance to have her one round the Sage.
I think a better plan is to just get everyone the fuck out of there.
That also works when it comes to Siege Tome. It is a little upsetting that with the plan it sounds like you're going to be using, you're going to be missing out on the Adept manual, because I think Adept could be a pretty cool skill in this playthrough, but
it's not that upsetting.
Only 69 hit with the hand axe.
69 is basically 100.
That's kind of what I was saying in the last part about 1-2 range slowly becoming worse. I just think you're going to get to a point where you're not, where 1-2 range just isn't going to be that viable anymore because of low hit chances.
So she can be hit by the Fire.
Ugh, that's rough.
Yeah, but she can't get hit by both of them. Wait, does this guy, Okay, so I could do the hand axe, perhaps. Does this guy... Okay, so I do the hand axe and then Canto away.
Gonna be some... There you go.
So, the enemies on this map are actually pretty strong. We get another, like, paladin. He's got the short axe this time. We got some bow users, effective weapon users, a couple of generals who are pretty annoying. This guy drops the Adept scroll that I'm probably not going to get, but I don't think it's a big deal. Like, I would just sell it for money anyway. I don't care for chance-based skill procs.
I see. I think I usually end up giving Adept to... I think it's Jill I usually give Adept to.
I don't think that's enough right there. So, the reason that I wanted Marsha to start out very far left is that there's a line on the map that when you cross it, Tabarn shows up. And I wanted to cross it on turn 1 so that I could just count on Tabarn to... I didn't take the Vulner offer, I meant to. Oh well. So that I could count on Tabarn to,
Just the solo the left side.
solo the map, honestly. Like, I'm just gonna be trying to, like, stick it out over here against an overwhelming force, which is what I thought last chapter was going to be. I need to maintain, like, I need to be careful of this area up here as well. That's where my reinforcements show up, but it's also where enemy reinforcements show up, like, shortly thereafter, too.
I know there's a scary bow paladin that shows up there at one point. And there's a couple of other cavaliers that show up there. They're really scary reinforcement.
My particular reinforcements that I chose were, I think, Braum and Makalov. Makalov just because, like, combat. And Braum is, I mean, they're both just combat that is potentially going to be sacrificed and not be a big deal. I considered Mist for, like, a third,
Staff.
yeah, third staff. But decided against it. She's very fragile, and it's already going to suck keeping, like, Volk and Tormod and Riss alive. I didn't want to add just another unit who can't counter, who can't take any hits, and Ike also. Like, there's so many, once Lethlon transforms, like, either Leth or Mordecai. I don't want to have too many units who I'm just like, I need to move you out of range, because eventually I get sort of like pincer tactics.
Yeah.
Now, just because Tibarn didn't show up on enemy phase doesn't mean... I don't think she's crossed the line, and if she didn't, that's probably a reset, because she's just dead.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure those cabs down there... maybe the cabs can't reach because of the swamp.
Yeah, but, one of them has... Well, I guess no, it's 3 spaces for the bow. I'm more thinking, like, the Meteor Mage combined with that soldier might have, like, a Javelin or something. But I believe they show up at the end of player phase, because they're green units, so they move at the end of player phase. I don't remember whether Marcia needs to be alive for them to show up as well. Because I usually just, like, have... Yeah, so Meteor... And she's got, like, decent res, but... Well, I say that, she took 13. And then there's that, like, that Pegasus is gonna kill her. Ooh!
Oh.
Didn't.
Wait.
Okay, so they don't show up. So that was not... She was not across the line. So I guess I just have to hope that she doesn't have to be alive for them to show up.
I don't think she would have to be... Because I think the game just checks, did someone cross the line?
In some games it'll be like, is someone there? Like, I know that's how the prison escape works, is someone there? Is the question that they ask, rather than, was someone there? Oh, nice.
I guess there's also... I think the zone reinforcements in Binding Blade are only if you, like, end the phase there. I think you can send someone into it, dance them, and then run them out.
I will take your word for that, because, as I said, I'm not super familiar with GBA Emblem.
Do you think Tibarn showing up one turn later is going to mess up some of your strats over here, since some enemies are going to be more drawn to come over to you now?
Potentially, but I don't think it's a huge deal. Like, these guys were probably always going to go for me anyway. Marcia being in these guys' range might draw them back. It's possible I'll have to do a reset. That's why I wanted her to start out in the place where WOD told me deployment slot 2 was. That's why I, like, manipulated the deployment order. At least I thought I had. In preps. Oof. Don't miss, don't miss, don't miss.
Oh. That's rough.
But yeah, I
can see you're getting a little bit overwhelmed. Just doing the patented curl up in a corner strat.
I would like you to use Oscar on someone else, though, since that guy's solo. Yeah, so I'll do that, and then do that.
Very nice. Nice wrist. Furious key typing.
I just want to be prepared in case Gotri bites the bullet. Oh, I guess I'm defending him now.
Oh, okay.
Weird. Weird how that
Gotta
works.
wall off the armor knight so he doesn't die.
That's a strategy I've employed before. I drafted Wendy, Bors, and Barth in that draft we mentioned earlier, and I definitely had to defend Wendy with like, was it Lance I had? I think I had Lance. I had one of the Christmas calves.
Yeah, you had Lance.
The one thing that I can see tripping me up is if I'm still dealing with these guys when the scary reinforcements arrive. Mordecai's not going to be transformed by then, just because I don't want him to take hits, because I would like everyone to counter, since I don't think any of these guys are getting one-rounded. I'm glad the Cav went north, because there's like a bunch of swamp here, so it'll slow him. The white and red Cav pattern makes me think female, even though I don't think it actually is supposed to be.
I guess there's always... Oh... Marcia, my girl.
Forgive me, Jacob. Forgive me.
Instant dislike, angry comments, unsubscribed.
Marcia died because she's a tryhard.
She died because you didn't give her every stat booster.
She says that, and then Makalov's about to show up. She cries about her brother, and then he's gonna show up and be like, "Yo, I heard my sister was here. What happened?" I sent her unarmed into a wave of enemies way too strong for her to handle. That's what happened, Makalov. But don't worry, you'll probably join her soon enough. So now's the moment of truth. We find out, is Tabarn gonna show up? Oh, he does. Okay, good.
Look who it is.
Her sacrifice was not in vain.
They're still going on over there?
So now we get Ulki, Janaf, Rayson, and Tabarn. Oh good, Tabarn's going to help me out, as opposed to sometimes he just charges Oliver. Because Tabarn is a hawk and therefore weak to bows, oftentimes like the bow calves will attack him even if they have 0 hit, because like enemy AI is kind of weird. Yeah, Rayson at least has unaggressive AI. Ooh, they show up the same time as the... That is the perfect reinforcement quote for what just happened.
At least Braum is self-aware.
Are you sure I'm the one you want?
I'm the one you wanted.
Honestly, Braum, I would rather have Marcia than you.
Maybe I should just hide in the back.
I was saying earlier, I love those little, like, flavor quotes. Oof, okay.
Hey, if you look at... Hey, the enemies are making a really funny shape right now. Zoom out real quick. Or is this the most zoomed out? If you look at them, they spell out the word reset on the map. I will be surprised if you make it through this turn without losing an important unit.
Oh god. Does Braum count as an important unit?
Yeah. I think the scariest part is you're gonna have to kill all these high move units to keep Ike alive, unless you just wall him. I mean, in this case, usually Ike doesn't contribute much anyways whenever he's rescuing Leanne, but in this case, because he's rescuing Leanne, you can't rescue him. Oh, you can roar him!
There we go. There we go. There we go.
We're
now I feel kind of embarrassed about attacking him earlier, because he won't even attack at one range. Like, we've tested that.
I mean, you don't usually have roar on a Laguz, so I totally understand not thinking about having it.
I mean, I gave it to her for situations like this, where I'm just, like, overwhelmed by the enemy forces.
If there's just an enemy you don't want to deal with that turn.
Yeah, and she can only use it once per map. Okay, so then, we have, like, Gotri and Braum and, like, potentially Makalov for, like, sacrificing reasons.
I think the worst part about Makalov dying is that he's still holding the Vague Kadi.
Yeah, I'll trade that off of him.
You have to trade it off of him. Could trade all of his stuff onto Moarim.
I am thinking about that.
This is looking real sketchy right now.
She is the full guard, so it's not a huge deal.
I'm not worried about Jill. Oh, do you think maybe if you have to reset, do you think sending a Lagoo Stone on one of them for Mordecai?
Yeah, I didn't realize that the the paladins would come so early.
I think it's because you usually don't cross that line in a vanilla run.
Oh, do they show up? Are they zone based?
They might be zone based alongside Tabarn.
I usually cross at turn 1, honestly. So I don't know if that's the case. I'm kind of walling pretty effectively too. I mean, not too much. Like if I put someone here, no, because then they could go down.
Of course.
You know what would be nice right now? A dancer. Oh my god. One short. A dancer would be really nice right now.
I can tell you this is wrong. The .org wiki says they're turn 8, and it is not turn 8. So let's consult a different site. Let's go to the fan wiki.
You know, I had to use the .org wiki lately. I had to use the .org wiki because I was planning out an FE4 0% run, and I had to figure out how child unit stats were calculated, and they don't have that on WOD. WOD is more like map information than anything else. Can
FE9.
Okay, so you're safe if we go like here.
Because I really don't remember those guys showing up the same turn that your reinforcements do.
I don't either. That looked really weird. But I usually cross that line turn 1, and so I don't. I feel like I would remember them like showing up based on the zone. Maybe I went like too far left with Marcia this time. Maybe there's like a second line or something.
Chapters. I'm looking it up right now to see if it's zone based or not.
Do these guys?
English,
one of them does. How much does he deal? So 20 attack and 21 attack versus a defense of 7. That's 13 plus. Yeah, he dies. What if? Oh, can you reach there? You can't. Oh, but multiple. Oh, no, only. Okay. So we'll do that and that. And I guess we'll just see what happens. Oh, Braum, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, buddy.
Rip Braum.
I'm so sorry. Are you sure I was the one you wanted? Yes.
Are you sure I'm the one you wanted? Did he have anything on him?
He's got a couple of steel lances, which, like, that's not nothing, but it's not the Vague Cotty. Don't double! Don't. Oh! 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 Yeah, he had a couple of steel lances. So yeah, we did get Tabarn, Ulki, and Janaf. Janaf has Let's gauge, so he like immediately transformed. Ulki has he has a gauge that only he and Ranulf have, where he starts about halfway as opposed to fully untransformed or fully transformed. So he's still got aggressive AI despite not being able to do anything. And Tabarn has an ability called Form Shift, where he's just always transformed. It's like the Demi-Band. Or no, he doesn't have an ability. He has a band called the Lagoo's Band.
Yeah, he has the Royal Band.
In this one, it's a band. Oh, Gotri! Time to say goodbye, buddy. No more armor knights.
Remember that part where we thought Gotri was going to be useful?
I know. I'm so disappointed in him. I guess I can say it since like it'll be up by now at this point. I made a thumbnail for the joining video for Gotri where he's just like talking about how shitty he is, how disappointed I am in him. Glad I took the fucking Killing Lance off him.
So we lost 2 armor knight.
Oh, I forgot about the Meteor Mage, too. Because normally I kill him. Like, normally the reason I cross that line so fast is I kill him with Marcia. I'll send Hand Axe Jill to kill the soldier, and then have Marcia kill him if I'm not going for, like, a cheeky thief dropping strat. But yeah, Janoff and Ulki are not as good as Tibarn. I'm happy to have them fighting for me.
Pretty much no one is as good as Tibarn, though.
But they're probably gonna, if not delete, severely weaken an enemy every turn. Maybe knock them into healing AI. And then Rayson is your dancer, so he's, like, really fucking good, but... Okay, so now I have to deal with both paladins. I can't roar again. But they don't have dancer AI in this game, which feels weird, because they have dancer AI in Thracia, which is a much older game than this. Okay, I can use the lightsaber on this one.
That's good. Let's go.
Only having 5 range on Physic is also a bit of a problem. I'm pretty sure I need to delete button all of these people. Oh no, Ike is still safe over there. Okay, next up. There we go, there we go. Honestly, it's kind of fitting that this is the map where I lost a bunch of people, because in the story, there's a thing called the Serenus Massacre, where they did like a genocide on the Herons. So now I've got my own little Serenus Massacre, where they did a genocide on the Armor Knights. But yeah, that's why Rayson hates humans, or Bjork, as they're called in this. And he hates it because he initially thought he was the only, or I guess his father he knew was alive. He thought he was the only surviving Heron. As it turns out, the person who Ike rescued, actually, and the reason that these guys are fighting on our behalf is they somehow from all the way, well, I guess Janoff's supposed to have really good eyes, so it makes sense that he would see, but from all the way over there, they could tell, oh, Ike currently is holding your sister, who we thought was dead, on his back. Yeah, we'll do that. So they're fighting to protect Ike, because protecting Ike means protecting Leanne.
It's less of a friendship and more like a shared mutual enemy.
Well, I think it's also that he's like, this is the first time I've seen that human is clearly weighing himself down. He would be much better at combat, which, like, joke's on him, if he wasn't rescuing. So that human's, like, putting himself at risk in order to... He's putting himself at risk in order to protect my sister. And that sort of, like, starts, much like how Jill was, like, racist against the Lagoos, and fighting alongside them has sort of started her arc of realizing we're not so different after all. Of course.
That makes sense.
Ugh. I would like someone who can do... Maybe do that? Maybe do that?
Possibly. So I just got done looking it up and trying to read through Google Translated WOD, which was a nightmare. It looks like those reinforcements are determined by the green line.
Oh, like the same one that makes Tibarn show up?
Yep.
Huh. I'll be honest, that surprises me.
I was going to say, I've never seen them that early. Usually I see them a turn or two after my own reinforcements show up, but then again, I don't usually end up crossing that line super early.
I am a little bit worried about Stefan, and I'm more worried about the lightsaber because of fucking Astra. But I don't think there's much I can do. Like, no one's gonna survive this onslaught.
One survives.
Oh god. Okay, Mordecai, transform, please.
No.
That's the worst possible. I was hoping he would like transform to gain the buffs. This is the worst possible because now he's going to transform before player phase, so he loses gauge at the start, but he doesn't get the buffs from combat.
Nice dodge tank.
I am fine with any of the green units dying. None of them are game over conditions, and even though they do all eventually join me, well, Tabarn has the option of joining me. I'm going to choose someone else. But, they, unlike Leth and Mordecai, who if they die in their yellow unit chapter, you don't get them. They don't technically die, they retreat, but then, you just don't get them in your roster. They're too wounded to join you or whatever. In this one, like, Janaf and Ulki and Rayson retreat, but then I guess the game realized that Rayson having, like, terrible AI puts himself at risk.
Yeah,
and it just wasn't fair. I guess you can also direct Leth and Mordecai, so you have some amount of control over them.
I think it's because Leth and Mordecai are technically units that are more fighting alongside you for the same reason and listening to your orders. Mm-hmm. Whereas in this situation, they're a neutral party that just happened to be fighting for the same reason you are.
Yeah.
And Ike doesn't know them personally to give orders to them. Whereas with Leth and Mordecai, you know, Leth acknowledges at one point, hey, if you give us orders, we'll listen.
Imagine if you could give Tabarn orders in this chapter. You can. He joins you as a yellow unit in one other chapter. And I actually kind of hate him in that chapter because he's really good, but he joins without any healing items. So if you leave him on roam, which is the only way that he will attack people, is if you leave him on roam, then he really triggers healing AI, flies to the nearest heal hedge, because that's the only way he can heal, and ends up, at least in Maniac mode, in range of like 5 Siege Tomes. He doesn't have a good chance of survival when that happens. Especially because some of them are blizzards, which are effective against him, which, like, yes, 2x effectiveness. I think he probably has decent res, because his stats are just great in general.
Ooh.
I can double check. But, you know, you get hit by enough Siege Tomes and you're going down. I ended up deciding to cut this video in half because we lost track of time and ended up recording for almost an hour without any pause. Just mesmerized by Tabarn massacring the enemy army. So that was the first half of the 4th part of Chapter 17, which is definitely not an overly confusing way of phrasing things. Tune in next time for Part 4 of Chapter 17. I hate this chapter title. It's dumb.